All right, guys, we are live, episode 169 of the Shooter's Mindset. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Co-host in the house, Nikki Clevenger. What's going on?
Not much. How are y'all?
Pretty good. Jennifer Seymour is in the house. What's going on, Jen?
Hey, everybody.
Good stuff. And we got the man of the hour here, Mr. PRS. I'm going to call him a lot of different things. The head honch, the director, the owner of PRS or Precision Rifle Shooting. What's going on, Shawn Wiseman?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. It's good to have you because this is a game that I don't know a ton about, and I want to jump into it, but I'm kind of hesitant to jump into it. I know jack shit about really. I just want pretty much zero my scope at 50 yards and let's go to town. That's where I'm at. So that's where I'm at with the whole thing. So we're gonna talk about it. Maybe I'll pick up some tips, and maybe I'll get myself to core in a few days. But the show is brought to you by Tactical Shit. The folks over at shop.tacticalshit.com. They got all the gear, from armor, shoes, apparel, you name it, they got it. Rifle parts, all that stuff. Check out their retail space over in St. Louis, in the St. Louis area, right in St. Peter's. They have 4,000 square feet of retail space that they just opened up recently. And we have discount codes coming from them later on in the show. Also, the folks at S3F Solutions for a fine Glock drop and barrel. Check out the folks at S3F Solutions. Fluted, threaded, all the tactical cool stuff. They got it. They just announced a pre-order for Glock 19 barrels. So if you guys been looking for one of those, can't find it, get your pre-order in because those kind of sell pretty quick. Also, the folks at TechWear USA for a fine competition shooting jersey. The TechWell system for the single stack guys. And have some AR-15 charging handles. And they make a fine jacket, too. Kind of NASCAR-ish, like fishing, just full of logos. You can get that if you want it over at TechWear USA. Also, the Q&A stuff, questions, man, for Shawn will be is much appreciated. It helps the show go along. So if you guys have any questions regarding shooting and long-distance stuff, I think we got the right guy here to answer those questions. So put them in the Facebook over on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page. We got a post that just went up. You can post in the comments below. We'll grab those. Or if you're watching on YouTube in the top right-hand corner, I think there's like join the conversation or something like that. You can plug them in there. I'll try to catch those. And lastly, for all your Shooter's Mindset needs, check out theshootersmindset.com, blogs, the show, and we have a gear shop open up. You got to trying to keep everything in stock, man. I'm kind of half broke, so half's in stock, half's not, and then I go out of stock, and then I get these, so it's kind of like that point right now. But maybe you'll like something over there. Check it out. All right, let's kick this one off. Shawn, for those who aren't familiar with you, tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you become the director of PRS, man.
So first of all, thanks for having me, Anthony. It's a real pleasure to be able to do this and talk about the PRM. So I spent 23 years in the Army, all in special operations, and probably 15 years of those was as a sniper in the Army. And so starting around, I don't know, maybe 2006, 2007, I started a little bit, mostly USPSA, and then eventually multi-gun. And I was stationed at Fort Bragg for like 13 or 14 years. So we had a bunch of really good venues around there, the Tar Heel 3-gun, and then a bunch of USPSA stuff. And that was, to me, about as much fun as you could ever possibly have with guns. The only bad part was, man, I suck with a shotgun in every way, shape, or form. I still can't understand how I miss so often with a stinking shotgun at distances that are ridiculously close.
Close is actually harder, depending on what choke you use.
That's what everybody says. Well, close, far, at all doesn't matter. What in the slugs? I was really, really good on the slug stages. Everything else just sucks. But so.
Uh-oh, did he freeze?
And it's usually the opposite. People suck at slugs, and then they're decent with birdshot. So that's the first time
all of us normal people.
Yeah. Let's send him a message. It was a little laggy, the connection, so
I don't know, but it depends on what you're aiming at. A slug could be similar to like shooting a rifle.
That's what I was about to say. He's probably really good with a rifle, which is why the slugs are right up his alley.
Yeah.
I love my shotguns too.
I like mine. Slugs are difficult if you still have to shoot other things. Like slugs out of my spreader choke are perfect. Slugs out of my IC go a little low and left, and then if I have to go anything tighter than an IC with my slugs, I have no idea. And I've tried patterning and everything. They just, after a tighter, like my light mod, there's no telling. There's no consistency in it. And I don't think it's the choke. It could be the slug, the type of slug.
What slug are you using? You the Walmart stuff?
I like the Berneckis. The low recoil home defense Berneckis. It's like a little orange box with like a person on it. Some reason those come out of my gun. Like those with my spreader choke and my Benelli, like a rifle. Put it on, ping, perfect. For some reason,
Shawn, you back?
Light mod doesn't do the same.
All right, so I don't know where do we left. I know you finished up saying how much you sucked with the shotgun. Then I think
he's bringing it back up again.
2013. I got into the precision rifle game. The first match I ever shot was the Bushnell Brawl, which is difficult. In fact, it's this weekend down in Kingsville, Texas at Rifles Only. And thinking that, I'm just a freaking badass sniper guy. I'm just shooter, whip up on all my guys at work, I'm going to go out and just whip these guys like it's nothing. And holy cow, was that a humbling experience. But I learned more in that one match than I did shooting probably, 15 or 20 pistol or multi-gun matches. It was just so practical. There wasn't a single stage that I shot that it was like do either in real life or in a hunting situation. Okay, this is probably the most practical shooting I've ever done in my life, and this is what I'm going to stick with. I did, and then as I was retiring, I retired last year, well, about a year and a half ago. Just happened to call Rich Emmons, the guy that actually started this, founder of the Feast, if you will, and would be interested in selling the PRS because I wanted to stay as involved as humanly possible, and I love the sport so much that if Rich is willing to do it, then I definitely want to take it over. It was a great decision, but definitely a more difficult task to be. So that's the story of how I got PRS director.
Yeah, so it's actually a crazy story. I mean, so you fell in love with the long-range game, happened to know the guy who started it, called him up, and he says he was willing to sell it. You picked it up, and then boom, and now you have all the work and responsibility.
Yeah, myself and our board also. We have some co-owners, and they sit on our board of directors. So they, we share the line. We share, a big part of the work. I get either all the credit or all the opposite of credit.
Yeah.
All the blame.
Yeah.
All the blame.
All the credit or all the blame. That's part of it. Are you plugged in or are you on Wi-Fi, by the way? Because you're a little laggy. I don't know why we didn't pick this up in the pre-show, but you're a little laggy during the live show.
I am on Wi-Fi.
I don't know if it's easy for you to get plugged in. It might not be. But it'll work 10 times better. If not, we'll have to go on this. The audio's decent right now.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully you stay in here and you don't keep dropping out, but otherwise we're pretty solid. I mean, the reason why in the beginning when I didn't really know anybody, I was like, man, why I was kind of afraid to go into PRS shooting was because of all the sniper dudes. I'm like, man, they're all snipers. They all were in the military. I can't compete with that. They have all this experience already, and I'm going in there, no military experience, don't really know how to my scope really well or anything like that. I'm just going to get blown out of the water. And it's funny how you, with all your experience, you come in there and you kind of got your butt handed to you in the beginning, and now you fell in love with the game.
Yep, that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Awesome. I know I said this during the pre-show, but if you didn't watch the pre-show, Jennifer is a division champion in some of this PRS stuff. I just wanted to put that out there again. Division, like two-time division champion in DMR stuff.
Just like I've turned into 5th in the world in 3-gun.
And Nikki is like 7th.
A little bit out of proportion every single time you talk about it.
Yeah, Nikki's like 7th best in the world.
You can tell he's a fisherman because the fish gets bigger every time he tells the story.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, we're live here, so I got to change it up a little bit and add, I guess, some entertainment value.
Oh, my
Or I'm trying to.
That's entertaining, all right.
Until I meet somebody that asks me if I'm 7th in the world, and I have to be like, no, Anthony lied.
No,
I'm
or
not.
like
That's fine.
when I do go to my first PRS match and they're like, hey, we saw you on that show. You like win your division and stuff. And I'm going to be like, blah, blah. No, he's just an idiot that likes to say that.
But
I won my division one
you did win your
time.
division.
I did win my division on a small match, one match. And it was a DMR match. It was not a PRS. It was.
So technically, you are division champion, though. I mean, we don't have to go into detail, but that's what happened.
I was proud of that. I was proud that I won. I beat all the guys.
You still get a first place trophy if you're the only one in the division.
And didn't you have a 6-power scope?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 6-power scope.
A 1 to 6. I shot with my 3-gun rifle with my 223. So.
But
my division was everybody that was shooting with a 6-power scope or less.
Oh, okay.
So.
I was going to say that makes it the best is that you had a 6-power scope.
I didn't beat like the bolt guns that had like the huge scopes. No.
Right. Yeah, but for most of us, the shooting season already started or is about to start. And PRS has some new rules for 2017. What are those new rules all about?
Okay, so for the bolt gun series, we got a couple of big rule changes. Probably the biggest rule change is our scoring system. Last year we tried a placement-based scoring system where, say you have 100 shooters, first place gets 100 points, and then every place after that gets 1 less point. We called that a scaling factor. So basically, if there were 200 shooters, second place would be like 99.5, third place would be 99, so on and so forth. We had gotten some pressure from people to at least try it. So we did. We didn't like it as much as what we thought we would, and it actually caused some problems. One of the biggest reasons we went with it was because compare this to NASCAR, and it's really nothing like NASCAR because we've got 30 some matches across the country, and so we'll have maybe 10 of our top 20 shooters in any given match, and so it's really hard to compare everybody like you would in a NASCAR field at any one given match. So we felt like that placement-based scoring system would kind of put everybody more on a level playing field. But so this year we're going to revert back to the way it was, which is if you scored your first place and you scored 100 match, so you had 100 match points, second through whatever place will be a percentage of those matches. So first place got 100 points, 5, obviously they're 95%, they would get 90 points. And that throughout the series, we aggregate the scores. So you have to take your best 3 scores, and you can shoot as many as you'd like. But you take your 3 best scores, and the top 75 out of that get to go to our championship finale match that we just had a couple weekends ago that my good buddy Tyler Payne won. So
yeah, those guys, they just show up.
Yeah. So that's probably our biggest rule change is the point system. And then the other big one is last year we also tried a kind kind of an experimental thing where so currently and before, all of our matches were all 2-day matches, all the ones that counted for PRS points. We wanted to try it where if you have a 1-day match, and it met all the same criteria as a PRS match as far as using our rules and everything, then that would count as half of a score. And the reason we wanted to do that was to cut down on travel costs. This is already a very expensive sport, so kind of cut down on travel costs for our shooters. It's a lot easier to go stay one night in a hotel than it is 2 or 3. So, and some people really liked it, and some people didn't. At the end of the day, it just created a little bit too much drama on for me anyway. And so this year it'll all go back to the 2-day format for points. So
is that's the only major change, or is there a couple other changes?
So yeah, I mean there are just a
production division. The amount you can spend went up on that.
Yep. So the divisional changes, yeah, that as far as that goes, that's probably the biggest one. It was a $2,000 limit on the rifle, and then the optic was a $2,000 limit. The combined MSRP on the two couldn't exceed $3,000, and we wanted to do it that way so people, didn't feel like they had to go out and spend $5,000 or $6,000 on a rig, and so it wound up being too hard to police though. Like a rule is not really a good rule if it's unenforceable. So we just said, okay, here's a list of equipment, a list of rifles, and a list of optics. If you're on this, you're good to go. If your stuff's on this, you're good to go. If it's not, then you're not. Yeah. But if you call and you think it should be on there, then we'll get it posted up.
Yeah, that's a great idea because, I mean, there's always, the gamers they're all out there. I'm one of them, and
yeah, he's a gamer.
I know my bullets hit the paper and then drop. They don't even go to the berm. I mean, that's how lightly loaded those handgun rounds are. But there's always ways. People want to game it and put some stuff on there. Hey, man, this is only 1,200. And then really it's not, whatever it is, and you never heard of the scope company or whatever. But yeah, I think that's a great way to do that. We got some live questions here that came in on YouTube here. One from Patrick Kelly, big fan of Patrick Kelly.
Patrick.
And Savage came out with their MSR rifles, so some 308s, some 6.5s. They just stepped into the AR game, which is fantastic, and they're really good price. He said, is there more of a minimalist division, one that does not have pillows and bags, etc.?
So the production, so all of the bolt gun series, so that's all the bolt gun series stuff. The gas gun series is something that we're starting this year, and we mentioned it earlier that our first match is at Core weekend after next. It's going to be really interesting to see how that pans out, because what Pat's asking is there a division that you can compete in where you don't have to have all that crap, all the bags, all the tripods, and all that stuff. So with the PRS bolt gun series, that is a points-based scoring system. So you have a part-time, you got to meet the part-time, or you don't get points after that. But in the bolt gun series, that is a time-based, time plus penalties-based scoring system. It's going to depend on the stage, and how he sets up as to whether or not you're going to have time to use all the bags and all the other accoutrements that is commonplace in the PRS these days. So yeah. I think for guys like Pat, who come from a 3-gun background, that's going to be the route that they're going to want to go, feel the most comfortable with.
Pat, you don't need bags anyway.
He probably shoot that offhand and do great.
Yeah. You're just going to stand there and just clear it and make us all look bad anyway because you're so awesome.
Offhand. No rest in the rifles. That's for rookies.
He doesn't need no bags.
Yeah.
He's going to be like,
I got this. 500 yards, whatever.
Yeah.
Teach me your way.
Interesting. This one's here. Yeah, teach the way. This one here from Jason. This looks like a good question here. I'm interested in purchasing my first long-range rifle, but I'm not sure which caliber to choose. Any recommendations or advice?
Okay, so that is a very nice segue question to one other kind of change for this year. So last year we started the tactical division, which was 308 and 223 only. That is a really good kind of introductory division as well. So number one, 308 and 223 bows, you can shoot thousands of rounds without having to change out a barrel. The field is getting more competitive. I think we had maybe 50 or 60 shooters in that division out of like 800 last year. But I'm betting this year will be like well north of 100. So I think that would be a good option if you're into the 308 thing. If you want a more competitive cartridge in the open division, you've got 6.5 Creedmoor, 260 and 6.5 by 47. It's pretty much the mainstay of the 6.5 caliber cartridges. And then for the 6mm, you got 6 Creedmoor, 6XC, 6 Dasher, 6 BR. Those are pretty much the main 6mm cartridges. And that's almost exclusively what you'll see definitely amongst the top shooters. That's all you'll see is 6 and 6.5s.
Right on. So fair to say if it's a bolt gun, you want stick with 6.5 in that area. And if it's a gas gun, you can go kind of either way. You can go with that 223. And, there's so many good 223 rounds that you can, even if you don't reload, which is kind of a big thing for a lot of people. They can't reload or they don't have the space and they don't hand load, period. You can pick up some good ammo in 308, 223, and even 6.5 if you have a gas gun that can go 6.5. There's some good factory ammo out there that can compete without having a hand load.
Yeah, between Hornady, Prime, Nexus Ammo, Copper Creek, they all make factory ammo that will do just fine in either the bolt gun or gas gun series.
Right on.
Is the list of the guns that you were talking about earlier for whether or not you could shoot in, is it production? What is the name of the?
Production.
Yeah.
Is that list online?
Yeah, it's on a rule book.
You break up. We lose them?
I know I found it online before, Jen, because I've seen it.
It will have a, yeah. So just so the people that might not know, in the bolt gun series, we have 3 divisions. The open division, which makes up the vast majority of the shooters. The production division, which is, again, it's kind of an introductory division that allows guys to, who have just regular old hunting rifles or, off-the-shelf tactical rifles to come out and compete against people with similar equipment and similar ability level. And then we have the tactical division, which is, again, 308 and 223 only. And the reason why I wanted to start that division was because, I'd go to a lot of my buddies and I'd be like, hey, man, we got this match coming up. It's a PRS match. Let's go shoot it. And their answer was always, hey, I would love to, but all I have is my work gun. It's a 308. And, we're giving up probably 30-40% just ballistically to, the top guys. So I took that excuse away from them by starting the tactical division. So,
yeah. And I think all these new divisions in this Gasser series are really starting to bring in all the 3-gun community guys that probably didn't want to step in before, and now they're all going in there. So I can definitely see membership going up, and guys that were maybe a little bit hesitant getting in the game now have a rifle that they can sport in there, and et cetera. So I think that was huge, and I got excited when because I didn't have any bolt guns, and I know, if it's me, it's got to be really fancy, and I didn't want to spend the dough on it. So, but
it has
I have
to be
plenty
fancy and pretty if Anthony's going to shoot it.
Yeah, it has to look really good on camera. So even if I suck, it's still a decent video, pretty much. So that's what I go for. But I didn't
You
want to
do
get
know
into
that
it.
on video for this, they call hits,
Yeah,
right?
they call hit.
So
Yeah, so it's
you're
kind
going
of.
to have to turn the audio off or they're going to know that you didn't get the hit.
Yeah, I can still do some
Exactly.
editing magic. You can always put some audio in there from the next guy that shot it.
He's going
Record
to
him.
audio the hits in. He's going to
Yeah,
you're going to be
Yeah.
a
yeah,
editing
whatever.
beast.
I guess as long as you look good out there,
That's all that matters. Yeah.
experience will come with the game.
Look good, feel good.
Yeah. And we talked a little bit about the rules, and I've done a lot of IDPA. Some USPSA dabbled in 3-gun, but big IDPA guy, and they change the rules. It seems like every other year there's a massive amount of rules that are being changed, and I'm sure you guys have this in PRS and the long range game sports. That as soon as something changes, a ton of people get pissed off, and then there's a big argument going on. But what do you guys do what is the process when you guys make rules changes or adding and taking away divisions, or do you guys really listen to the members, or do people get a vote, some of the body in?
Yeah. So first of all, we have a 10-member board of directors, and just my opinion, but I think it's probably the best board of directors in all of shooting sports. We've got Dustin Morris, who is a seasoned champion. Wade Studeville, who was a seasoned champion, George Gardner of GA Precision, phenomenal and all-around good guy. We got Mike Boyd. I'm sure you guys know, it's another just one of my best buddies and one of the greatest guys in all of shooting sports. Tate Moots. Tate's a big 3-gun guy in New Mexico. Shannon Kay, and who owns K&M Shooting Facility, and then we have BJ Bailey from Oklahoma. And so together, we listen to what our members are saying, and this year we commissioned a kind of a strategic thinking steering committee, and that committee was comprised of people that the actual members voted on to the committee. And so they got together and with some guidance from the board, they said, hey, let's look at, how we're doing our scoring, how we're doing our season, so on and so forth. And man, there were some really good things that came out of that committee that we as a board voted on. And again, all member driven, all from bottom up driven, and arrived at a lot of the changes that we made this year. Now, once the season starts, which that happens on Friday at the Bushnell Brawl in Rifles Only in Kingsville, Texas, we will not change a rule unless it is a rule that is needed, sort of safety thing, or it by not having a rule change, it will drastically change the outcome of the season, and that takes a unanimous vote by the board of directors in order to pass that. So, that's how we go about doing our rules. Now, we will not have this year. We won't have a steering committee or rules committee or anything like that. So we're going to leave these rules, everything that we're doing this year, we're going to do next year as well. And then that way we've got 2 solid years of data that we can look at and say, okay, this is working or it's not working.
Yeah, I like that. I like that deal a lot, because it seems not only you listen to the members, but you got guys that you can vote in and vote out. It just makes a lot of sense. You guys are changing the rules, but collecting some of the data for you guys aren't going to change it next year and then change it the next year and then take away some key things here and there. And then everybody, it's like no one knows the rule book. Everybody's just winging it at this point. It's like, oh shit, I got a procedural. All right. Where is it at in the rule book? All right. I learned the hard way. There it is. I don't know. But yeah, I really agree with that. I think that's the way a lot of some of these pistol sports can learn from. Not to bash any of them. I'm a big fan of all action shooting sports, but I think it's a really good deal. What do we have? We got a couple live questions I'm going to run through from Razor JB. It's just a couple comments. He's like, Shawn Wiseman, former Green Beret Wiseman. And he's also, he's also saying, holy crap, it's Wiseman. One hell of American right there. Good dude and stud. He was my instructor in the Q course.
That's a former life.
And he also said it's What's up, Shawn? It's glad seeing you doing well, brother. So a couple comments from Razor JB. Also, Havoc Legion shooting team is also checking in. We appreciate you guys coming in and watching. Also, Patrick Kelly just follows up saying, thank you, Shawn. Looking forward to a couple gas gun matches. See you on the range. Also, DJ has gas gun is the newest exciting shooting in the last few years. Looking forward to Rock Castle series, and In-N-Out Burger sucks.
He had to get that in there for you, Anthony.
Yeah, there's one of those questions I should have skimmed over, but screw it, I just went with it.
He was late though. DJ's late. He's like our faithful, always here. He's late.
I don't know. That new In-N-Out over in Vegas that they opened up. I don't know. It was like 50 people behind a counter. It was a little whack, I must say. There's one on James Dean. It's a little bit, that we ate over the years at SHOT Show that's really solid. But I don't know. I say you give it another shot. I don't know what you ordered, but animal style double doubles and animal fries usually is the key. But I mean, I'm sorry to hear that. In-N-Out is awesome. See, we got some people, and this is, whatever. We're dragging out too much time here. But going into this one, we're just a week away for folks who are interested. What is it? February 17th, I believe, over at Core Shooting in Baker, Florida, is the gas gun season opener. And can shooters still sign up even though it's only a week out? What can new shooters kind of expect? I was on the website. I didn't see too much as far as like gear, like maybe that's in the rule book, and equipment gear wise, and what can we kind of expect if this is our first major kind of gas gun match?
Okay, so first of all, yeah, there are some. I think there are a few slots still left. So you can go to Core Shooting. I think it's Core Shooting, CoreShootingSolutions.com. Use the Google machine; it'll spit out the right answer every time, and you can sign up from there. And then, as far as equipment goes, I kind of talked about the bolt gun divisions. The gas gun divisions are a little bit different. So we have an open division, which is pretty much your 6 and your 6.5s. It's like all those cartridges I was talking about in the bolt gun open division. We have tactical light, which is 223 Remington or 5.56 NATO only. So like no 223 Ackley improved or any of that mess. And then tactical heavy, which is your 308 7.62 NATO. So those are our three divisions. And in fact, from that the tactical light will be the biggest division. Because again, you got all the 3-gun crowd. Everybody and their brother owns an AR-15, and a lot of people just want a sport to go out and to compete in, and so
so none of these
this allows them.
None of these divisions are limited by scope or gun in any way. They're just limited by caliber.
Right. The only other restriction that we put on the divisions is very caliber specific. So for 223, we have a bullet weight limit of 77 grains, and that's kind of matched the Mark 262, the kind of the LR round that the Army uses, and that has a speed limit of 3,000 feet per second. So 77 grain, 3,000 feet per second for tactical light. And tactical heavy is 178 grain projectile max and a 2,800 feet per second speed limit. So in the gas gun, you would be really, really, really hard pressed to feet per second, unless you run like probably 24, 26 inch barrel. So, and super hot.
Right on. But is there any, like, gear-wise, or so we got the rifle, we got our scope, we're shooting tac light, we're shooting some 223. Should I bring some bags, like equipment-wise? What do I really need to bring? And you guys also, there's some pistol stages that will be thrown in the Gasser series. So you guys got to bring your pistol. There might be a stage or two or something like that. So you got to be proficient with the pistol also.
Yeah. So as far as bags go, we have a few different manufacturers that make bags. Weebad, WEIBAD. They were kind of the founder of the feast with the big pump pillows and kind of the bigger tactical bags that you're used to seeing in PRS. You have Armageddon Gear. Tom Fuller's company down in Georgia. They make really good stuff. Cliff Reeser came up with a game changer bag. That thing's pretty innovative. And then there's a couple other companies that make bags, and I apologize if I'm forgetting any of them. But then the other thing that really helps out a whole bunch are slings. Slings are used most of the time to help steady your position, especially in some of the god-awful awkward positions that match directors put us in. So a sling helps out quite a bit too. And then as far as pistol goes, are really good about putting out round counts. They'll send out kind of a match description match, and it'll tell you, okay, this is your round count. This is your rifle round count. This is your pistol round count, and kind of plan accordingly, whether you're flying or driving or whatever.
So are the divisions?
Are there any limitations for pistol?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Are the divisions don't limit pistol, so I can have an optic on my pistol and shoot tac light?
Yep.
Not that I have a pistol with an optic, but if I did.
Be okay to use it. We try to make these rules like evenly possible, and as few as humanly possible. We'll still have a great shooting sport.
Yeah, they definitely are a little loose. Very few limitations, which is a good thing. I mean, and there's not. I don't think there's. I don't know if in our game, if you're shooting a space gun and someone's shooting a Glock, and then there's not enough pistol to really pull away in a PRS kind of series because you have this monster $3,000, $4,000 space gun, right?
Well, so in the bolt gun series, yeah, you're absolutely right. Again, that's a points-based scoring system. I think, and guys, this is like full disclosure here. This is all 100% theory. No idea how this thing's going to pan out. I think it's going to be awesome, but my thought is, as far as the pistol goes, it will matter a whole lot more in the gas gun series because it's a time-based scoring system. Mm-hmm. And so if you can blaze through the pistol portion, in 15 seconds. This with rifle shooter 5 or 30, you just put some serious time on that guy.
Well, and you're going to have some tricked out pistols coming because all the 3-gunners.
They're going to show that. Say, now I need an open pistol just to shoot PRS.
No, I don't think there's going to be. I don't know. Because when you're talking about full. Go ahead, Shawn.
No, so one of the rules that we did put in place. Because I kind of see that happening. You get a match director that is way better at pistol, or the people in his area are way better at pistol, and he puts together a rifle match that is 75% pistol, and that would not be cool.
That's so long.
So what we said is no more than 25% of the total from the pistol. So if you have 20, let's say you have a 200 round count match. You can't have any more than 50 rounds of pistol.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I don't know if a lot of people are going to show up with space guns. If they do, I don't know, man. Because it's not going to be a full-blown pistol course. You know what I mean? There's not going to be a shit ton of targets probably. So I don't know if the advantage is going to be that huge.
So
maybe a couple tenths.
And I'm sitting here, for the last 3 days, I'm racking my brain. Am I gonna take my Strayer Voigt? Am I gonna take my Glock? my tricked out Glock, or am I just going to take an M&P and call it good? Honestly, I pray make that decision like game time.
Yeah. Excellent. Some good stuff, man. It sounds very interesting, man. I wish I could make it out to Baker, but the rifle isn't completely set up and it's not in the schedule right now. Jen should definitely go there and defend her division title.
I think Cora is like 8 hours from me, or
That's
maybe
driving
even more than that.
My max is 13, I think, on the drive.
I say I'm driving to Key West in June. I think it's 15. That'll
Yeah.
probably be the longest I've ever driven.
Well, I'm driving
Are
to
you going on
Texas in
vacation?
April.
Because there's not much matches in Key West.
Oh no, I'm going for a bachelorette weekend.
All right.
That's just my max driving anywhere, really.
Yeah.
And I think I'm breaking it up. I think I'm gonna only drive half one at night, wake up next morning, drive the other half.
Right.
We'll see. There's
also a PRS club series, and this is the one that Nikki's actually 7th best in the world, ladies in the club series. No, this is no, I'm not even
not
making
in
it up
PRS in 3-gun.
Not in PRS, but I'm saying in 3-gun club series, right?
Yes, 8th.
Okay. I mean, that's an accomplishment. I wish I could be 7th best in something.
8th out of 100, 200. I don't remember how many there are.
That's legit. Okay, so but the PRS has a club series. How do clubs become affiliated? Because I'm sure this might be a little bit of an issue. Is that some range? What are the range requirements? Maybe some ranges just you can't reach out. They don't have the land. You know what I mean? I know there's one. I know there's Baker. You mentioned one earlier in the pre-show. One that's probably popping up in Central Florida, but there's also Altair Training Solutions down here. In the Naples, Florida area on the West Coast, kind of right past the alley there, that they have 2 miles that they can reach out to on that range. And I know there's some, the long distance guys go out there on it's like an open night, and I think you can reach out, but I don't know. I don't think they have a club series or any affiliation with actually PRS yet. So what are the range requirements, and how do you become like affiliated?
Okay, so it's beyond simple. In fact, you probably caught on. Our theme is like make everything as simple as humanly possible. The whole KISS concept. But so all you have to do if you're a club and you go on to precisionrifleseries.com, and like the 4th header over is club series, and this is our new website that we got up. It's got a really nice detailed map that lays out all the regions. And it has on there, if you want to affiliate your club, then just register on our website. It takes about 2 minutes to do. So real quick on the club series, that was one of the things that came out of the steering committee. We are undoubtedly the fastest growing shooting sport in the country. I mean, this thing has grown 100% year to year. Both in terms of matches as well as membership. So when I took over in 2015, there were about 400 members, a few over 400. And then this past year, we were just under 800. So almost 100% growth. We went from 17 matches in 2015 to 36 matches. So a little over 100% growth on the matches. And so one of the biggest complaints that I was getting was, man, it's just so hard to get into a match, so hard to get into a match. So we put more matches on the schedule, but that didn't fix some of the other problems that we had. And the biggest thing is that we were a very top-heavy organization, meaning that, we were like, Major League Baseball without any farm teams, and no real feeder organizations to help bring up new shooters. And it was basically, if you wanted to shoot, you're showing up to a major match, and you brought the level of shooters and the level of difficulty of the matches has gotten a whole lot harder, and so it's so stinking intimidating for a new shooter to come in and jump right into a major PRS match. I mean, it's definitely doable. We have some phenomenal new shooters, but the club series made sense in that, hey, let's get a feeder organization going. Let's get as many clubs involved as we can, and then that's how we'll really and truly grow the sport of precision rifle. And man, it's been phenomenal. Less than just a couple months, we've gotten, and I don't even know, I think we're up to like 20, 30 some clubs already, over
I like
7
it.
different regions.
That's good. Feeder matches are good.
Yes.
It's not as intimidating.
Nope. It's a good place to learn, and there's always going to be a couple of really good shooters there, and that's one of the, like, and I know it's the same with 3-gun. I'm not going to say that about some other shooting sports, but the people are just such incredibly good people, and especially like the top guys, they'll give you the shirt off your back, and they're more than willing to help people out, and that's the same way. It's actually even more than that at PRS matches. I've seen like top shooters give guys guns, scopes to use in a match because theirs broke or whatever. Let people shoot their guns, let people shoot their ammo, and it's just in a club series match that you see that all the time. So it's nice having that feeder organization.
I gotta shout out Regina because ever since we had her on the show, I don't know how long ago, she has answered every one of my dumb questions, and I haven't even shown up at a PRS match yet. But I have probably messaged her several times with like, what do I do? What do I need? What should I be looking for? Who do I need to talk to? Where can I find this? Where should I look for this? And I mean, for somebody so new to just jump in head first, kind of like I'm trying to, I kind of need a gun first. She has just been so helpful, and that, not saying people in 3-gun aren't like that, but I have shot other disciplines where they looked at me like I was just stupid, and they were like, don't talk to her because she has no idea what she's doing. And Regina was just like, yeah, you need this. Let me help you with this. Let me talk to you about this. Talk to this person. Reach out to this person. I was like, oh, thank you. Wasn't used to that.
She is such a good ambassador to all shooting sports. And I'm just thankful that, she's in the PRS. She's always just super nice to everybody. And that's the way it is with pretty much all of our top shooters. I mean, they are more than willing to help you out in any way, shape, or form. Call them up, text them, book them, whatever you want to do. I mean, they're going to answer you back and answer any questions that you have.
Exactly. Yeah, she's awesome. She's also a writer for the Shooter's Mindset. She put up a great article regarding precision rifle shooting a few months back.
And she was also the very first woman to ever win a major match in any major shooting sport. So she won NorCal this year, which, I mean, just a phenomenal feat. So
excellent.
Kudos.
I take notes for most shows. I've kind of stopped taking notes as much as I used to, but notes for when Regina's show, I probably got 2 pages worth, and I'm already running out of room on notes for this show. So the PRS shows have caused me to write down more things than I have written down for any other show. Just sitting here. So if you see the top of my head a lot, it's because I'm like, oh crap, what did he just say? I have to go back. I'll have to go back and rewatch this one. I got to get this.
Yeah. Yeah. DJ's got a couple live ones. Just kind of a couple comments here. He says he's a TAC light guy. Come out to Nashville and shoot with him, Jen.
Nashville.
Saying Nashville.
I've spoken with DJ on the phone before.
Yeah. Nashville's I'm a big fan of that town also. Also, bipod and one bag is what he wants to see. Also, a club at Rock Castle. So a couple comments. Appreciate those coming in there from me, DJ. Discount Corner. Let's kind of jump into this one before we forget about it. Save you some money on some gear. I don't know. We could save you a lot of money if you're trying to build a gas gun, the gap for the gasser division stuff, but not much for bolt guns. But Jen, you're going to start off with your discount codes. What do you have?
You can get 10% off of Carbon Arms on shotgun caddies. I just posted a picture, and everybody's been saying, "How do you have enough shells on you?" Anyway, it's all my Carbon Arms stuff. My chest rig and my shell caddies are all Carbon Arms, and you get 10% off with the code TSM10 at carbonarms.us. And you can also get 10% off at Samson Manufacturing for scope mount or rails, anything AR. And that's also TSM10 on their website, samson-mfgpro.com.
Yeah, you can get all your accessories to build your AR pretty much there. At least 90% of them.
And you can buy things from the Shooter's Mindset store with my code Jen TSM10.
Yeah, we got some bulk carrier groups and some triggers and some fancy stuff like that to help you finish your build.
T-shirts.
Yeah, T-shirts. Yeah,
Because those are
We'll take
important.
a look.
T-shirts are important.
You
Yeah,
got to wear
yeah.
something. You
I
can't go
know.
shooting naked.
I'm not. Look, I love walking
I mean,
across
I'd
here and
probably
looking at all
have-
the
I'd probably
looking
have
at the
more
hats and
Instagram
T-shirts.
followers, but you know.
Yeah.
If I shot
Right.
naked, I'd have more followers, but whatever.
Oh yeah, that whole like dignity thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nikki, you got some codes?
Yes, if you can't find everything you're looking for at Samson Manufacturing, head over to American Defense Manufacturing. Pick up everything for your rifle needs. You can even pick up whole rifles with the new Ambi bolt release on their lower receivers. You can use discount code 3gun10. That's number 3, the word gun, and the number 10. You can also check out the Shooter's Mindset store and use Nikki TSM10 to save 10% there.
Jen TSM10.
Nikki, and it's
Jen.
1K.
Jen JEN.
Nikki? Whatever, just shout TSM10 somewhere and somebody's going to give you 10% pretty much. Hit me up on Facebook. I can save you 20% on True Spec. And if you're looking for a barrel, Criterion Barrels is actually putting out rifle barrels for the new
Burger Precision, right?
Boom. That's what I'm thinking of. That, but hit me up if you're also for your AR builds, for your 3-gun builds as well. I can save you either 20 or 15% at Criterion Barrels. I can't remember what it is. I'll make it 20 if it's not 20. So,
Dang, that's
if it's 15, it's supposed to be 20. Just I'll ask them. We can get it up 20. But hit me up on Facebook. That's at Friends discount. We got to be friends for you to get that. So.
Right on. Yeah, so I mean, if you got one of those Ruger Precisions, which is an awesome gun that I think helped a lot of people get into the game. That's another thing. I think as the sport grows and all these divisions open up, seems to be more and more companies kind of at SHOT Show. That was one of the vibes that I saw. A lot of people putting out these kind of budget-friendly gasser guns. Like the Savage is awesome, pretty much ready out of the box. They got the Ruger for the bolt gun. If you wanted to get into the bolt gun series stuff, they always had that. You can always swap out, throw a Criterion barrel in there, throw on a nice decent scope, and you're ready to rock. And that was that.
And you can get those barrels at Criterion. Barrels.
Yeah, exactly. They have one. They have a drop-in one for the Precision one. So I got some codes here. We talked about them earlier. They're a big supporter of the show, the folks at Tactical Shit, and that's shop.tacticalshit.com. Sitting over there. If you go by the retail store, if you yell it at the cashier, it also works to get 10% off.
It also works to get arrested.
Nah, it depends
start
on
yelling at the cashier. Just start
TSM10.
yelling at the cashier.
Yeah, they'll catch on. Just don't say anything else
Eventually,
like rude. And then, yeah, it's a good way to get lifted out of there. Dewey rods, especially for the long range guns, you need to make sure, you have a quality rod going down the gun. DeweyRods.com is a good way to do that. That's TSM15. Saves you 15% off Dewey rods. Their nylon coated rods are excellent. Also, Taran Tactical Innovations. That's TaranTacticalInnovations.com. TSM10 saves you 10% off the entire website. John Wick Glocks, Benelli M2s, base pads, all the fancy stuff. They got it over at TaranTacticalInnovations.com. And lastly, I got RAN CLP. That's Mindset 16. Mindset 16 saves you 15% off anything over at RANCLP.com. Discount codes are in the description box below if you don't want to follow us and can't figure it out, or you just want something where you can just click down in the description box below. If it's not there, hit up Team Clevenger Shooting for their discount codes. And Jennifer Seymour 3-gun, which is getting really famous. You got like 1,500 likes all of a sudden. I looked at your page. I remember I got you to 4,000, didn't I? I helped you out get to 4,000.
5.
It was 5?
Help me get to 5. Yep.
Oh, okay. I thought I helped you get to 4, and I'm like, you have like 5,500 now. I'm like, oh yeah, where did you get 1,500 likes? Like in a couple months, I thought maybe Maybe it was like ZT and all these
I
land
say
tags.
I kind of need 50. I need 5,000 likes. If y'all want to help me.
Yeah, Team Clevenger shooting. You
Team
help her
Clevenger
get to
shooting's
5,000.
next. Let's get to 5,000.
She'll give
That's
you
right.
a Criterion barrel, maybe.
No, don't push it now.
All right.
I'll give you a discount.
Yeah,
I'll
get
make
the
I might give you a 20% discount instead of a 15 because I can't remember what
Well,
the
she's
actual
making up
code's
the
for.
discount,
But
so by the time it's over, she might be making up a free barrel. So
if someone would actually, I've had a couple people in the beginning of the season at the end of last season hit me up for it, but nobody so far for 2017. So you, first person hit me up for 2017, you might get 20.
Boom.
Everybody else
There
might
you
get
go.
15.
There you go. Done and done. Also, back to the questions here. Let's take a look. We've got some live stuff. No live, right, Jen? Pretty
No.
much clear on the YouTube side. Good stuff. But like I said in the pre-show, if you haven't watched the pre-show, if you follow me on Facebook, it's a good way we throw up a pre-show, kind of talk some randomness. Sometimes it's really entertaining. Sometimes it's really not. Like the last week, someone put a comment in there. He says, this was as entertaining as watching paint dry.
Who did we have last week?
Wow.
So
The pre-show is as
It
interesting
was
as watching
Ashley.
paint dry?
Really entertaining. It was just I had a bunch of like technical issues, so I was like,
Oh, yeah, and I was late. I didn't even show up till the.
it was all me. It was
That's
my
why it
fault.
was so boring because we weren't there.
I was going to say, because the show
Awesome.
last week was so
Was excellent.
interesting.
Yeah,
mean,
it was
I
a
can't-
really
That girl's
fascinating show.
too smart. She's too smart. My brain
Too
hurt
smart.
after that one.
Yeah. All right, Sean. But I got a couple. I have like I said, I have a Rise Armament 308 coming. Actually, the first 308 rifle that they're introducing, as far as their rifle that they're putting out, should be around April. I'm hearing for the 308. But once that comes, I want to shoot some tactical heavy division. But I was kicking myself because I was talking to some guys because I got a suppressor from Gemtech, but I got it in 5.56 and they're like, dude, you should have got a 30 cal can. You could have slapped it on there. I'm like, okay, well, that sucks, but what's the benefit? And, every time you see the magazines, you have all these cool guys with these decked out bolt guns and a can on the end. And I'm like, well, what's the benefit? And then I did some online research, and there was a lot of kind of back and forth on it. So suppressors and PRS, bolt guns or gas guns, what are the effects? Does it affect accuracy? Are they beneficial? What's the deal with those?
Yeah, so, man, it's one of those things, like anything else. It depends on some variables. The first is it a quality can? You mentioned Gemtech. Obviously, they make really awesome suppressors, and you won't really, you're not going to have any problems with the suppressor itself. A few other, really good ones out there, and a handful of others. And in my experience, so long as you have a really good gunsmith that threaded the front end of your barrel properly, you're able to kind of replicate the way you put on your can each and every time. You're not going to see any degradation in accuracy. But if any of those things are not right, it did do a very good job of threading your barrel, or if you're using some sort of muzzle attachment device like a brake, like a QD system, you can sometimes have problems with those, and it will affect accuracy. I've had that happen to me before. I've had a 0.3 minute gun go to like a 2.5 minute gun. That was awesome. So, once I figured out that it was.
Hope that wasn't at a match.
No, thank God it was like a day prior, but I was still freaking out. So anyway, once I figured it out, okay, it was a can. I wasn't attaching it the exact same way, and got that fixed. So that's something you really have to look out for. The only other thing that I will say that is kind of, a con to cans is if you don't use some sort of cover to cut down on mirage, you're going to get your butt kicked, especially if it's not like a very calm day with the mirage. But if you throw a good cover on there, like the Rifles Only one, there's a few other companies that make really good ones, won't have a problem with that. Now, the big pros, I personally shoot more accurately with a can. And I'm going to go ahead and put this out there, and I know people are going to call me an idiot and all this other stuff, but whatever. No matter what you say, no matter how awesome you think you are, or what a badass shooter you are, every time you pull the trigger, there's some level of flinch. It's just the way it is. Some guys do it, and gals do it a whole lot more than others. Some do it very, very little. But with a can, what I have found is people have less of a flinch. And they typically have better follow through with a can, and can shoot tighter groups overall. And that's just my experience personally. So
Very cool.
There it is, can out. I didn't get a 30 cal can, so I guess I'm gonna have to buy another one now. Oh well.
you never owned enough suppressors.
Yeah. I've been waiting. I feel like I've been waiting like 2 years for this one. Well, it's only been a few months.
Probably because you had.
Yeah.
Imagine what it's like to be pregnant.
I don't want to imagine that or think about it.
I was gonna say we have a new sheriff in town. I wonder, we haven't attempted to see if we can get a suppressor yet. It's about time we start trying.
Yeah, their county won't allow them.
Yeah, county doesn't allow them.
The Hearing Protection Act, that hopefully now that we have, a Republican president and Republican House and Senate, that maybe that thing can get passed through. I still think it might be a year or two, but I'm hopeful, and that will basically alleviate the need for the tag stamp.
Yeah. Also, there's a lot of things going around. Silencer Co., huge company, Silencer Co., and they spend a lot of money on marketing. But I heard I don't know how true, just rumor vine, maybe it's true. I heard they let go a lot of employees because of this, because I think a lot of people are waiting for this act to kind of go through, so they're putting off the suppressor purchases, and it's hurting some of these suppressor companies out there. So don't wait. If you want a can, really go out there. You have to wait it out. It sucks. You have to pay the $200, but usually if you're spending $1,000 on a can or whatever it is, $200 really don't hurt you that much. It's the weight that really kills us. But because we're gun dudes, we want to slap it on there. We want to go to work. But
I wonder what happens to the people that are waiting for one if they do pass it. Do they get to go get theirs that day?
Man,
who knows?
Who knows?
Those are all the fine line things, the small print things. I don't know, but definitely go out there. Don't wait. Check it out. What's that, Shawn?
Yeah, you're exactly right, brother. You don't that law may never get passed, and unfortunately, that got put out that, hey, look, there's a good chance it'll get passed soon, and you're exactly right. People waited. Like, hey, why pay $200 and wait for God only knows how long? When this thing's going to pass soon, we'll just go that route. And it killed suppressor sales.
Yeah. And there was another leak on a proposal for the ATF regarding some of that stuff, and it was worded really, really nice. But that's another thing. These are all kind of things that it might take a very long time for this to pass. It might never get passed. Don't wait and hurt some of the companies that are putting out some of these suppressors, and they're losing some staff there. We don't want to do that. So go out there and purchase one. I was watching a video. It was like the 2015 Heat Stroke Open, and I saw some choppers. People were shooting out of helicopters and stuff like that. I've always wanted to do that, whether it was at a match or just like a hog hunt or just shooting from a helicopter. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, I do it.
Me too.
Yeah.
That needs to be our new field trip. Forget SHOT Show. We're going to shoot out of a helicopter.
We need to go to Texas or somewhere. I know Texas is big on it. There might be somewhere in Florida, but I don't know. But I definitely need to do it. Do you expect more events to have helicopter type stages shooting out choppers? And if they do have it, there's got to be a lot of safety briefs that go into it.
What's the safety things on there? What's your 180 on that?
What? Yeah. What's the safety you speak of?
Yeah.
This is the PRF. No, we're actually very safety conscious. No, I mean, so in a former life, I shot out helicopters a whole lot, and so to me, that's just another element of the practicality of the Precision Rifle Series. The Bushnell Brawl usually has a helicopter at their matches. Jacob Bynum, who is the owner and operator of Rifles Only, the venue that holds the Bushnell Brawl, he actually does a helicopter class, helicopter precision rifle class. So if you're really interested in doing that, you can definitely hit them up, riflesonly.com. But as far as safety goes, I mean, your rifle pointed down at all times, you hook in, you're up on comms, so you have really good situational awareness, and then the targets are usually pretty generous when you're shooting out helicopters.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean,
so
I just think about unstable positions that we have to shoot from and trying to keep steady. I can't imagine an entire helicopter. And I'm at a level 1 trauma center, so we land helicopters all the time and go up there, and I know the vibration, and I just cannot imagine keeping it steady and being able to shoot out of it. Maybe it's easier than I think it is, but.
And then trying to be accurate out of one. I mean, you can spray and pray, and eventually one will hit.
If the helicopter's static, it's in a hover, it's really not that difficult. I mean, it's just like when you're shooting on the move, you just keep driving your sights to the center of the target and breaking it somewhere in the center. If you're talking about shooting on the move, that's a whole lot more difficult. You've got it depending on how fast the helicopter is going, you might have a reverse lead to where you're shooting in front of behind your target in order for it to hit. Just because you're moving, the helicopter is moving faster than the vehicle, if that makes sense. So there's a whole lot of elements to that. You're right. Kind of mentioned it down in Texas. They passed a law not too long ago to where you can hunt hogs out of helicopters. Coolest thing ever is shooting pigs from a stinking helicopter. So there's a few different outfits that run those. What the price is, but it doesn't get much cooler than that.
Anthony, my birthday is in March next month,
so
you can that's what you need to get Nikki and I is
you
a trip.
Send us to Texas. Just send us to Texas.
I'll be in Texas in April. I want to shoot out of a helicopter while I'm there. I'll be there April 19th through the 22nd. So can somebody get me a helicopter near Austin, Texas, so I can shoot out of it, please?
Travel, logging, all paid.
Please and thank you.
Chopper ride.
Thank you, Shooter's Mindset.
I'll bring my rifle because I'm driving. I'll have my rifle.
If I'm going to do this, you can have my rifles. You might as well just take my rifle.
Take everything, right?
Yeah. You
I just want to shoot out of a helicopter.
Appreciate it, Anthony. You're the best.
You're welcome. Give me like 5 years to save up for that. Thanks. I'll work on it. Legion Shooting Team says you won't see NFA stuff happen until, let's say, 50 state concealed if it passes. So you won't see NFA happen until after the 50 state concealed if it passes. Okay, so the concealed 50 state. So I believe he's mentioning the universal. Your concealed carry license in Florida will be recognized through all the states.
Right.
Like a driver's license.
Yeah. So
that's how it should be.
Yeah, how it should be. Exactly. Florida is a really good concealed weapons license that actually has majority of all the East Coast until you start getting up to really high, like New York and all that craziness. But it has a lot of states. But when you go to SHOT Show and on the West Coast, it's not really valid over there. The Carolinas, Alabama, stuff like that, it's valid. But yeah, so if you wanted to carry legally over for SHOT Show Vegas, even though you can't have it inside the stands, but you get what I'm saying, you have to get another license, pain in the butt. So that's another thing, and I think you're right about that. I don't think you're going to see any NFA stuff happen until that happens. I think that's a fair assumption. Mm-hmm. What do we have here? Also, what are some DQ? We talked about some DQ stories before we even jumped up, doing like when we first got on some of our DQ stories. But what are some common DQs in PRS, and what are some things people should be aware of?
I mean, just like any other shooting sport, we have the exact same safety rules with a couple of different specific things that we do bolt action rifle. We've got a stage or match DQ Negligent discharge, that's obviously the most common. And the reason that it's, I say it's the most constant, but it's actually very rare. I've only been to a few different matches where I saw someone get DQ'd because of an ND. And talking about a rifle that, weighs 17, 18 and heavier, and it has like a 6 or 8 ounce trigger, it makes it really, really easy to negligently discharge that rifle. And so you have to be super cognizant of, making sure that your finger's off the trigger until you're on target, not within the vicinity of, actually on target. So, and then another thing that we at most matches do, and we highly encourage that all matches do, is you don't close your bolt on a bolt action rifle until you are on the target. And the reason for that is bolt guns, especially with the light triggers, can sometimes what we call slam fire. So you go to close the bolt and blammo, get around going off unexpectedly. And
wowzer.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, what the, and too late. So you're still going to get DQ'd, but at least you did it safely.
Right. I'm assuming the gas gun division will be obviously putting your AR on safe from position to position and that stuff. So would there be a warning, like if you catch somebody, maybe he's going from port to port and he didn't put on safe, is there a warning, or is that automatic DQ from not putting your gun to safe?
No, they'll get a warning and be told to move back to the last position, put the rifle on safe, move back to the last position, and then move out. So you're going to get a time penalty, obviously, just inherent to having to move back. And then the other thing that we are having the match directors do is make them call an audible safe. Yeah,
I saw that in the video you did with the video. You did call them safe every time.
Yep. And that makes it a whole lot easier on the RO. So he can be looking out for others. I mean, he's still going to make sure that your rifle's on safe, but he's going to feel a whole lot better about it if you're calling out those audible. And it's just good to do, because if you called it out, chances are you probably did it.
Yeah, exactly. Good stuff. Jen, you had a question you wanted to throw in here?
Sure. So, it's not a secret that I want to get into this game yet this year and kind of try and go at it. So I've done a DMR match, and I know that I had to have a bipod, which I didn't know. We don't do those in 3-gun. I was like, I need a bipod? What? So I borrowed one from my sponsor, and I still have it like a year later. Shh. But anyway, and he gave me a little rear bag. It's just a really small rear bag, and that's what I was using. But realistically, to go to a PRS match, what is the minimum stuff that I need? Like, people ask me that about 3-gun. I'm like, you have to have a pistol, you have to have at least 3 mags, you have to have a rifle, But so for this, do you have to have a Kestrel? Do you need to have a rangefinder? So tell me the things that I like that are must-haves before I go to my first one.
Okay, that is a great question, Jennifer. So first thing you gotta have, and I'm gonna speak specifically to the gas gun series. So first thing, obviously, you need a rifle. Okay, so you need to decide which caliber or which division you're going to compete in. So let's just say you got a 223. Say that your rifle needs to shoot a minute of angle or better. So that 1 inch at 100 yards or better. So first, rifle. Some specific things on the rifle. You're going to want a good, crisp, kind of light trigger, because you're going to be in awkward positions, and you're going to be sitting there like, this stupid thing needs to go off, and you're gripping the trigger, but you got like a 4-pound trigger, and eventually you're going to do one of those. So a lighter trigger definitely helps. A Temney, one of the Temneys, or like a Geisley National Match, or one of those that's fairly light. You're also going to want, like you said, a bipod positions. At least probably 35 to 40% of the match, 45% of the match is going to be from the prone, typically. You want a sling. Again, kind of the sling helps to steady your position, especially in kind of the awkward positions. And then you're going to want one small rear bag that you can use from the prone position. And then I like just kind of one what we call a tactical pillow, that kind of that size bag. And if you have those things, that's kind of bare minimum as far as the rifle goes. And then the optic, you want an optic to do three things. Number one, you want it to be the glass quality to be good. You want it to be a nice, clear, crisp image. Number two, you'll want so when you turn 2 mils on the gun, 2 mils. And then the third thing is you want it to the reticle in there to also be accurate. And when you're holding over 2 mils, that needs to be 2 mils. So we definitely recommend spending the money getting a good optic for the gas gun series. I don't really recommend a 6 power. We have a max range of 800. Like a 50 power scope or anything like that. You're good with like a that 3 to 15 or 3 to 18 kind of range will be plenty good. But whether it's a Leupold, Vortex, Night Force, or any of those higher end, obviously any of those higher end scopes, then you're going to be okay. As far as other equipment, you ask about a Kestrel, but you don't necessarily have to have one. There's like 1,000 different ballistic apps that you can get for you. And so most of those, like Shooter and AB, Applied Ballistics, all those, they all run off of station pressure at your location. So they see where you're at and they weather stations and they draw that weather in. Pretty awesome. Now, unfortunately, most of the places that we shoot are out in the middle of frickin' nowhere, and you don't get a signal. So that does you no good. So,
Yeah.
The most important thing that Kestrel tells you is the density altitude. So if you have pre-made dope cards for your rifle, and you have them broken out by, you have a one for like say 0, sea level, one for like 2,500, one for 5,000, and then whatever is required at your location, then you can just work off of those dope cards, and it's actually a whole lot quicker and a whole lot easier. So, and then let's see here.
Rangefinder, probably.
No, you don't need a rangefinder because all the ranges are given to you.
That's what I was about to ask. Were they given or is it unknowns?
Yeah, they're almost all given to you. There's a couple matches that are. Ryan Castle runs a match at Rock Castle where it's he makes you range the targets. They're all blind stages, so you have no idea where the targets are. So you got to find them, range them. I'm pretty sure he provided the rangefinder for that match. So rangefinder is not necessary. Now, I would recommend a pair of binos. Good quality binos, like 10 power minimum. Because when you show up to a stage, the RO is going to point out all the targets to you, and that is a critical piece of information, right? Where are the targets? Typically, they'll have a couple spotting scopes up there to spot, impacts with, and everybody's kind of fighting and jockeying to look through those things. Whereas if you have your own binos, he'll point out the target and you'll look at them through your binos, and it just makes it a whole lot easier on you, a whole lot less stressful. So, because inevitably you're the first shooter up and the last person to get to look through the glass to find the targets, and then you're scrambling to get up on the line with all your crap.
That's how it always works for me.
And then there's always one guy or two guys that are spending way too much time.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, get your ass off the glass, move off the props.
Yeah.
Let somebody else on.
Yeah.
We don't have that problem too much at all. So yeah, that's really, I'm trying to think if there's anything else That's really the bare minimum.
There you go.
You know, you can bring a whole plethora of bags. I mean, I've seen guys, it's like, God bless, man. If you were in a car wreck right now, no matter how bad it was, you're going to live because you got bags hanging off them like all over the freaking place. You know, just sit on, bag, prop this elbow on, right, pop this. Like, my God, man. So you
See,
can
my
go
hardest
crazy.
thing is getting steady. If I had all those bags, I'd probably do really well.
Oh, yeah, but you can't move. I mean, God forbid you got to move from one position to the next.
I know. If I have time to
so-
get that steady, I can do really well. It's just
Well, then
finding
you gotta set them up too, right? There's more time there. If you're talking gasser series, you got a time limit on the stage, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, both series have, you know, par times, and people par out all the time in the bolt gun series too. But in the gas gun series, I mean, you're going 4 time, you're shooting 4 time. So I
Setting
don't
up all these bags.
see all that advantageous to and the target bigger too in the gas gun series than they are in the bolt gun series. So
that's good to know. It is different. It's a whole different mindset. Like even the DMR matches that I did, they're not PRS, but I had to like make myself get in a whole different mindset because 3-gun, like they put you in uncomfortable positions and you don't have very much. I mean, you have a barricade to rest on, but that's it. Like there's no bags, there's no bipods, there, you know,
And the
none of that.
barricade's wobbly as crap.
It's wobbly, so you just get used to like it's going to be crap, you know. Whereas, but it's also bigger targets we're trying to hit. You know, it's usually a bigger. Well, when I went to that one, we were hitting like I hit a 2-inch target at 300 yards. I couldn't believe it when I hit it, but I hit it. But I had to like rethink and be like, okay, I have 2 minutes to do this, which I know if the gas series is for time, it'll be different. But it was the importance of getting a good position, because if I could get a good position and be solid, then I could go faster. But if I was fighting my position the whole time, it was worse.
So what, you know, I've shot a lot of DMR matches too. And what I've found is it's really not that much different between one scoring system and the other. So between the bolt gun series and the gas gun series. So if you take your time, build a good position, and take a good clean shot, that's going to take you about 10 seconds to do. Just on average, you know, a good shooter, not a great shooter, good shooter, an okay shooter can do that in about 10 seconds in just about any of the positions that a match director is going to have you build. So if you break that first shot in 10 seconds and you hit, you know, and you're moving on to that, your split's going to be from shot to shot, probably somewhere in the 4 to 5 to 6 second range. So, you know, we're used to splits of like 0.3s, you know, 0.2s, shooting rifles and pistols up close. And so we can, you know, if you burn one off the edge of a freaking, you know, at an IPSC match, you make it up. No big deal. You cost yourself maybe half a second at most. But in this game, you're way better off to be patient, let your sight settle on the target, and break a clean shot, and then observe where that shot went. Because if you did miss, which there's a high likelihood you probably did, see where you missed, and then correct accordingly and break your next shot. But you can expect, I mean, if you try to rush it, so let's say you get there in 8 seconds, you break the shot, you break it in 8 seconds, and now you're looking at, you know, 5 second split to your next shot. Now you're at 13. Whereas if you would have been, you know, 10 and broke it clean and made a good shot, you're 3 seconds to the good. So.
Oh, good stuff. Are we here? Any live stuff, or we're good? I'm good on my end. We have a couple. Big Lou 13 says he's thrown in some of his comments. He says, great hand loads, sand stock, bipod, dope, logbook, and scope level. So throwing in some of the extras on gear.
Yep. So sand stock is a rear bag. You know, that's what I was talking about, the data card for, you know, the different, it's the altitudes. Totally agree with that. and then trust that dope too. If you go out and you practice and you're hitting at 800,
Nikki
fixed
really
middle,
is taking. Nikki, you're really taking notes on this.
Not kidding. Those are the things, the essentials that you need. So I ran out of room, so I had to add more ticks to add the scope level and the sand stock. I'm not kidding you. I have a whole page full of notes. Like, I'm trying to get in this, and it's one thing when you jump in the 3-gun, and my husband has already been shooting 3-gun for years and years and years before I even looked at a 3rd gun. So he doesn't know anything about PRS. So we're both kind of going in this
Yeah, you
knowing
can just
nothing.
use his advice for everything on 3-gun, and now both of you guys have no advice on PRS.
And now I'm
so
asking,
you
I'm asking him about precision rifle, and I mean, he knows your basics,
Yeah.
because he builds rifles and stuff. But we're both kind of we're winging this one,
I really think that we're going to have some really, really good shooters come out. The top 3-gun guys. Greg Jordan is a good buddy of mine. He shoots Armalite. Dude is one of the best rifle shooters I've ever seen shoot a rifle. I think he'll do really, really well. Obviously, Tyler Payne, our series champion this year, big 3-gun guy. I think Dan Horner would do really well. There's just a bunch of those guys. Todd Jarrett probably do pretty well.
And that's why I'm waiting for all like the really good 3-gun girl shooters lady shooters to go to PRS, so then I can be good at 3-gun, because they won't be there.
They won't be there. That's a gamer strategy. I like it. Remember, first place is first place, no matter how many people are in your division.
I win high lady all the time at my monthly matches because I'm the only lady.
Boom. And you can show the trophies on the internet and the Facebook and stuff, which are the shaking the match director's hand, first place high lady, boom.
Well, if you jump in now, Nikki, I mean you'll be one of the first gals to you'll be one of the.
Yeah, before all the good 3-gun girls get there, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I just got it. Like I said, I just got to decide on a rifle, and then my rifle sponsor just came out with a new PCC, and now I'm like, well, dude, I was thinking PRS. I wasn't thinking PCC. Now I'm thinking PCC, but now I still really do PRS, and I don't know if I can get one of each.
Well,
I'm not trying to, beggars can't be choosers.
You can still shoot the TAC Light division with 223. Just throw another scope on there.
I know, but they want to give me another one, and I already broke in this one that I have, and now I got to.
Yeah, swapping scopes, that's a pain in the butt.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to go from, I have a stainless barrel right now, and I think I'm going to go back to a chrome line. Nothing wrong with the stainless. I like the chrome line too. And I think I'm going to go back to the chrome line for this season and breaking that barrel all over again. And
well, you got a real
I don't know.
there.
Decisions,
Yeah.
And I mean, I have a long gun, not a long gun, but a longer barrel upper in my gun room that I shot the Hyperfire match with. I just got to, put it on a different lower and put a scope on it, but it's heavy.
Okay. Well,
heavy is not necessarily a bad thing in this sport. Heavy reduces recoil, which is like one of those key fundamentals.
Yeah, I think the problem with the barrel in the other room though is it can't, it doesn't have a break on the end of it. Doesn't have anything on the end of it.
I don't care if you're shooting at 22 in the PRS. You want a break.
Yeah, so I got to look at that again.
That's a cheap edition. Get yourself a break and let's get out there.
No, I don't think it's threaded. I don't know. My parts manager is not here. I don't think I can add a break to it.
You can.
Right.
You can. You just have to send it off to a good gunsmith and have him thread it.
Oh, I got one of those. I'm not worried about that. Okay. Well,
there you go.
There we go. I got a barrel. It's heavy, but
you are officially out of excuses.
Well, no, because then it's like, well, can I could always just have them send me another barrel that is threaded. I could just get another one. It's not like I have to get this one threaded. Just get another one. I don't know.
There you go.
PCC, right. PRS, PCC, PRS. Taking notes. We're going to get in this.
That's why I like to have guns for every division. That's what I say. I want open gun, limited gun, production gun. You gotta have
And
them
that's what
all
I'm saying.
because
I'm
you never
good.
know when
Let's
you just
go.
wanna
We
grab
got gas gun series, club series. I am, club series bound in the gas gun series. And then all of a sudden it's like no restrictions on pistol. And I'm like, well, shoot. Now I feel like I need to go get an open pistol because my pistol game's not perfect. My rifle game and 3-gun is the best out of the 3. And now you're going to throw pistol in there again. And it's
only
like if I
50
wanted to
rounds
shoot.
though. You're 50 rounds. Your pistol game's got to be solid enough for
True, it's
that.
fine with 50 rounds, but I
Alrighty.
came to shoot pistol, not 2-gun.
All right.
Or shoot rifle, not 2-gun.
I think we're just about to wrap this one up. I'm clear on live questions on my end. I don't think we have any on the Facebooks. I think we're going over a little bit on an hour and a half. I think we covered tons of stuff, tons of new rules, tons of divisions.
Tons of stuff. Now I got to go
tons
back
of
and
stuff.
ask.
Nikki obviously has a whole notepad full of notes just from the show.
Now I'm going to be messaging. I'm going to be messaging Regina and being like, "Hey, so they said this. Shawn Wiseman guy, Shawn Wiseman, he said that I needed to do this, this, and this. How do I do that?"
Yeah, exactly. Get the
And have her put it in terms that I can understand.
Right.
She'll be more than happy to help you out.
I believe
There
it.
you go. Boom. If someone wants to sponsor some PRS events, where's a good way they can get a hold of you, or who can we get an email for if they're into that?
So if you want to be an official PRS sponsor, just go to the website precisionrifleseries.com and then go to sponsors, and it'll have a link for you to follow. And then they build a sponsors profile there and everything. And then if they want to sponsor the matches, they can still get a hold of me. It's Shawn at precisionrifleseries.com. Again, Shawn, SHAWN, at precisionrifleseries.com. And hit me up, and I will get them in touch with the different match directors. I would like to mention that we are very proud to announce that Armalite is going to be the Gas Gun Series season sponsor. And so that's kind of a big deal for us. We're super happy to have them come on board and sponsor that series. And then we'd also like to mention that Surgeon Rifles is our official rifle sponsor of the bolt gun series. So pretty good deal for us.
That's sweet. Didn't Regina just get picked up by them?
Yep.
So you can tell I stalk Regina. Anybody else? It's like only the third time I've said it. It's like Beetlejuice. She's going to show up here in a second.
Anthony's frozen.
Oh, is he? I was like,
I was like, wow.
For a second, I thought maybe I'm the one that's frozen, and I was like, I'll just give it time. They'll all get to talking here in a second. And then after a while, I was like, oh, nobody's talking? Am I broken? No, I didn't break the internet.
Totally frozen. He dropped out. He'll come back.
I was going to say, dang it, Regina's about to come in here, like, kick my door down because I said her name 3 times. And all of a sudden, everybody goes silent. And I'm like, well, shit, she might be here somewhere all of a sudden.
She's
sorry. I just got a text from people. Got a couple people watching the show, and they're just laughing at me for taking notes. Just say to my face, don't text me. I'm taking notes. Who cares? I'm getting in this game.
Yeah.
I'll be with my notepad next to my rifle. I'm going to be carrying it as I'm trying to take notes and shoot at the same time. Whatever. I take notes.
Excellent. All right, let's wind this one down to shout-outs. Shout-outs for today's show. Jennifer, start it off.
All right. I've got Lansing Tactical, awesome rifles. They do a lot of long range, getting into long range even more, with maybe some other rifles coming out besides just 308 in the gas series. Zero tolerance knives, Night Force optics, load up ammunition, proper sharpshooters of Augusta and shooters of Augusta, Lucas Oil, Grizzly Targets, Carbon Arms, Sampson Manufacturing Operation X, Tactical Life, and the Shooter's Mindset.
Right on. Yeah, I'm jealous of that Night Force optics sponsor, though, I must say.
Don't be jealous.
What you know which one you got? Because that's a good medium range scope, right? That's what you need for the gas.
I have the 4x14 SVH.
And that's
So that's
balling.
what'll go on my long range rifle.
4x14.
Excellent.
4.
Nikki, shout outs. Shout
I
outs.
gotta write that down. 4x14.
Yeah.
Sean Murphy is my friend and from Night Force, and he was like, "This is what you need." I was like, "All right, I believe you. I'm just going with what you say." So that's
I
what.
would listen to a thing that dude says.
Yeah.
He has no idea. I don't even know how he has a job at Night Force, to be honest with you.
Look, Sean.
Okay,
So like,
now I'm crossing out 4x14.
So like my very first 3-gun match in Atlanta, he was on our squad, and he's like just wearing a t-shirt, and he's sitting around whatever, and he gets up and shoots, and we're all like, "Dang, where'd that come from?" And he sits back down and just keeps chit-chatting with and just he's resetting and having a good time. And like I probably shot like 4 or 5 matches with him before I was like, "So what do you do?" "Oh, I'm the marketing manager at Night Force." Oh, nice. Okay. Totally didn't know that. I mean, you'd never know it about him.
Makes sense now.
Because he's just so nice, and he was like coming in first and second in that match, and
He's very
but
honest.
not in your division because you came in first in that one.
no, because he wasn't there.
Oh. Oh, right. Sorry. Shout outs. Let me think. I don't have anything in front of me. I didn't write these down, and I don't remember them all because I've had a long day. First and foremost, title sponsor Criterion Barrels. Hit me up if you want to save either 15 or 20% on a barrel on Facebook. I can't remember which one it is. American Defense Manufacturing. Eagle Imports, bringing in the new SPS 9mm in the blue and the all chrome. Stage Zero Shooting Supply. Pure Gold Shotgun Chokes, the official choke of 3 Gun Nation. They're having a big shotgun challenge sometime at the Clinton House this summer that I can't remember the date. So check that out on Facebook. Just do the little search thing. Pure Gold Shotgun Chokes Shotgun Challenge. Shout out True Spec for making me look like a baller on the range, even if I don't shoot like one. Safari Land. Shop local, your local outdoor shop, or your local gun shop. My local gun shop is the outdoor shop. If you don't have a local gun shop, check out mine at theoutdoorshop.rocks. And some of my newer sponsors for 2017. I want to shout out Red Hill Tactical and Tactical Shit. And then sponsors people I'm not sponsored by, but they make like really cool stuff. Also check them out. I got to give huge props to Zero Tolerance ZT Knives, best knife in my life. So I love companies that support shooting sports, even if their stuff doesn't necessarily have to deal with shooting. But that knife really did help me when I had a double feed on my shotgun. I just put it in there and get the, y'all know the move that I'm talking about with the knife.
Flick
And
it.
yeah, we can get it out of there. Tough Products and Techwear. I have not even contacted Techwear for my 2017 jersey yet. I'm going to let everybody else get theirs out of the way, and then I'll have them make me one. But hit up Techwear for your jerseys for 2017.
Yeah, I agree. I'm doing the same thing. Let everybody get theirs out of the way. I'm waiting on mine. Sean, you're up, man. Shout out to what you got.
Okay, so man, first of all, we've got the best sponsors in shooting sports. We have a lot of smaller companies that step up big to support Precision Rifle Series. We'll start with they're a bigger company, obviously, but Bushnell is our title sponsor for the PRS period. Our other optic sponsors, Night Force Vortex, Loophole, and Schmidt and Bender. And then some of our rifle sponsors, Rifles, GA Precision, Studeville Precision, Roberts Precision, R Brothers Precision. I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch. Again, our gas gun series sponsor and official rifle sponsor is Armalite. And then some of our other sponsors, see Rifles Only, Short Action Precision, Benchmark Barrels, Blue Mountain Precision, Wooden Gun Works, Atlas Bipods, Redding Reloading, Sierra Bullets, Burger Bullets, Hornady obviously is our big ammo sponsor, Proof Research, Thunder Beast, they also make some awesome cans, Short Action Customs, they make incredible actions. Armageddon gear. Jay Allen makes some like super awesome chassis. Bartline Barrels. Bartline's our official barrel sponsor. then silencer tech, and I am sure that I am forgetting a bunch. National, man.
It's good to see a lot of those companies supporting the PRS stuff, though.
Yeah,
That's
Jim Tech, it's insane. Jared Joplin's company, American Precision Arms, they're out of Atlanta there, or near Atlanta. Yeah, just on Tab Gear, Tony Burke's in Texas. And our list of sponsors is so deep, it's not even funny, and they're all just awesome people. And the great thing is that the majority of them are shooters.
Excellent. So the shooters with their companies jumping in the pot
Yep.
and supporting the game they play. Very nice.
Nice.
All right. Some shout outs on
Awesome.
my end. I'll try to reel them off pretty quickly. Subscribe to the channel. Right below this video, you see a subscribe button. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, subscribe. Every Wednesday at 9 we do a new episode of the Shooter's Mindset featuring another great guest, and we might have some giveaways thrown around in there that we do. Also, I do some competition videos and some gear review videos every once in a blue moon that I put in there. You can check out those if you're a sub. Definitely thanks, Shawn, man. Thanks for coming on. 2 hours we're going on, or 2.5 hours with the pre-show and all that combined. We appreciate you taking the time out of the day to talk with us about some PRS today.
No, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. It was good talking to you guys. It was a fun conversation. So, yeah, hit me up anytime. And if anybody has any questions, you can hit me up again at Shawn@precisionrifleseries.com.
Right on.
Yeah.
If you want to jump on the show, if you have any advice or suggestions, questions, you can email me at theshootersmindset@gmail.com. It's a great way to do that. Also, the folks at Tactical Shit, you can check out their blog. It's tacticalshit.com, or their shop, which is shop.tacticalshit.com. To support those folks, they support 3-gun and a variety of other sports, IDP and stuff like that. Gear Nation for fine apparel, some t-shirts. Check out Gear Nation USA. We have their shirts on the Shooter's Mindset shop, which is theshootersmindset.com. Rise Armament for your rifles. Like I said, the 308's coming out in April-ish. Don't quote me on that, because people say things and then they kind of push it back. It might come out. It might come out sooner. It might come out later. But they have some fantastic 3-gun rifles, their C-Series and stuff like that. If you want to shoot some DMR or maybe some 3-gun, they have some rifles for you. Their triggers are excellent. And Taran Tactical Innovations, John Wick is coming out this Friday. And I got a date night going out there, some dinner, some John Wick. Boom, done and done. That's my Friday night, and I know that movie's going to be good. So that's what I'm doing Friday. But that'll do it. That'll do it for episode 169 of The Shooter's Mindset. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Jen, Nikki, thanks for helping out with this. We're out of here.